And empaths are actually, we're highly manipulative because from an energetic point of view, we want to control situations so that we don't feel yucky. So as a kid who's very sensitive to things, whether it's a big T trauma, little T trauma, whatever, we're all sensitive to energy. We can all feel it. It's like, okay, well, is it safe to me to ask to go out to play? Oh, I can feel that in my body that it doesn't feel safe. So, no, I'm not going to do that. And then as we get older, we get into the people pleasing because we want to make sure that the water stays calm. We don't want people to not like us. And so we start manipulating situations to make sure that we are feeling safe and good.
Welcome to the Samantha Parker Show, where sober meets CEO energy. I'm Samantha, a social media manager, content strategist, and woman who said no more to playing small. This show is your permission slip to ditch the rules, show up loud, and build a life that feels damn good without alcohol, burnout, or the BS. I didn't build my business after getting sober. I built it while struggling quietly behind the scenes. But when I put down the drink, I picked up something way more powerful. Clarity, confidence, and a whole new way to lead. Now this podcast is where I spill it all. The lifestyle, the business growth, the mindset shifts, plus the truth about what it really takes to stay sober, build a business, and show up unapologetically. If you're a big dreamer who wants more out of life and maybe less wine with it, you're in the right place. So grab your latte, your to-do list, or your running shoes. Let's get into it.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Samantha Parker Show. This is a fun episode. This will actually be the last episode that I'm recording in my office because I'm moving offices. And I am so excited because today I'm joined by my Canadian sister. I was like, my sister from another country, Brenda Johnston. I would also like to introduce Brenda as a powerhouse subconscious energetics coach, which we need to get into that because that's like a big word. Subconscious energetics coach. So we have to break that down a little bit. But I would also like to say that Brenda and I will also be appearing on Hulu
And an
2030, maybe.
part docuseries.
We will have a 29-part docuseries coming out. Brenda and I are basically like crime detectives. And I would say we spent this spring uncovering one of the biggest scandals in the coaching industry. And I swear to God, you'll see a Hulu episode about it.
Mm-hmm. It's been an interesting adventure. I'll say that.
But don't worry, guys. That's not what we're going to even talk about today because we have a fake imaginary contract with Hulu that they won't let us talk about.
Oh, yeah.
I want you to know I practiced that. Could you tell?
Yeah, I could. That was great, actually. It
I thought,
really actually makes me feel like we do have the contract with Hulu. And if we were going to put that out in the universe, today is a great day to put that out into the universe.
yeah, you're into this energy stuff, which I like energy stuff too. I love talking about it. I love talking to you. It's super cool. At times, I think it can feel a little woo-woo. And what I like about you is it's not like weird woo. It's just normal. Like it feels very aligned with who I am as a person. It feels very grounding. It feels all those things. But let's just kind of break this down for a second. Subconscious energetics coach. What is that?
So I've actually decided that I need to change what I call myself because it's a lot. So, but it still incorporates that. So I work in the subconscious realm and the energetic realm. And I'm essentially helping people understand how they are uniquely wired, so to speak, or designed energetically to lead and make money and do the things and show up. And then I help them clear out old beliefs that might be limiting them. And we create new beliefs that help support their growth. And it's really cool because so many people, including myself, like years ago, we do all this like surface level mindset work. We journal, we do all the things, right? But then nothing really changes. We keep kind of going back and back and back. So when I started studying the subconscious and like I went to school for hypnosis and all these things for over a year, I had to do in clinic work, 170 hours. So this isn't me going, I learned how to do meditations and now I'm going to like mind fuck you all. I can swear on this, right?
No.
Right.
In
Yeah.
fact, now we have to trash the whole episode. It was like absolute bullshit that you just did that.
But it's like, I just love it because I don't like wasting time. I like to get in and get out. I like to help people recognize what's going on, clear the path so they can move forward and keep expanding. It's like we don't need to dick around. I don't need to take you back to all of your past traumas. I don't need to create codependent relationships with all of you. I want you to have the tools to understand what's going on, why you do certain things that you do, and how to work in your design. And I do use aspects of human design. I don't talk about that piece a lot because I feel like with so many things like human design, it's all like cute and people are like, I'm a 3-5 manifesting generator. And then they put themselves in these weird boxes. And that's just so surface level. Human design is like our blueprint, like our soul's blueprint. That's what it feels like to me. And so it helps me kind of see why you're here, who you're meant to speak to, how you're meant to speak to them, how you're meant to make money. Like it's so much deeper. And then from there, and this is the part that does seem a little more woo, I have the ability to be able to see patterns in energy. So I can see where there are things limiting you, and then I'm able to guide you to clear that stuff out.
Super weird because the way that I look at it is if I notice myself bitching about the same thing over and over again, I'm like, oh my God, you have to do something about that. But that would have taken me a year to figure out,
Yeah.
you know?
But that stuff does take us longer to figure out, right? It's like, well, do I want to stay in this state of like bitching and complaining and what? And listen, a lot of people do want to stay in that state. I've learned over the years I cannot help everybody. I cannot work with victim mindset people. Can't do it because they don't want to change. Anybody who comes to me is the type of person that wants to change. Maybe they have chaos in their head. Maybe they're not clear on stuff. Like my superpower is being able to help women, especially women in business, get super clear on what they're here to do, how they're going to do it, and how they want to make money so it feels good and they're not burning out. Because how many of us have burnt the fuck out multiple times? Not available for that anymore.
You know what we should do? We should pull up my energy blueprint. Okay. Because I think it'd be really cool. Because sometimes I'm like, okay, all of these like are great theory, it's great words. You know me, I'm more of like a show me action person. But you know what I think Brenda's cool is you work with a lot of my clients and
Mhm.
like I just kind of want to point out the difference here. When you have something going on in your life and you don't like it, it's like the type of people are ready to make a change. But I would even say that like people come to you who are just like, oh, this is what I'm working on. How do you think I could just like take it up a notch?
Yeah,
Know
100%.
what I'm saying? And that's a space I love to be in. And even a lot of my podcast dives into like sobriety and things like that. And that's the space I love to be in where it's like, okay, we realize we have this issue, we're fixing the issue. And now we're like, what are we going to do with that?
But it's also interesting because part of your design is to be a role model. It's built into your energy. So you doing what you do in social media, but then also being in the sober space, and you're noticing this too. You attract clients who are in the same energy also,
Which I
because
did
that's
not
why you're
expect.
here.
Yeah, I
I
did not
know.
expect that. That's been
I
like my to me.
girl, last fall when we started talking about things and you were talking about the sober space, I was just like, mm-hmm. She has no idea.
I know I was really so worried to start talking about sobriety as like a primary focus because I was afraid. I don't know why. I was like, well, is that going to ruin my entire business? You know what I'm saying? That's where I was at. And then it was funny because right after I got home from California, I had like a couple like local companies reach out to me and they're like, we've been watching your TikTok. We want to like do some partnerships. Then I had a drink company reach out to me and I'm like, well, this is weird, you know?
But we were that's literally what we were talking about in California. I
Mhm.
was sitting there going, you could have collaborations with people. It's just interesting. And you know what? It's the same with me. I in the beginning, only spoke about the subconscious aspect of what I did. I was still doing the energetic stuff. I just wasn't talking about it because I didn't want to be clumped in with all of the airy fairy, fluffy, bullshitty coaches,
Manifesting coaches.
manifesting coaches. I'm using
Yeah.
that lightly, but I didn't want to be lumped in with them because I'm completely different than that. I want to take the woo, so to speak, and make it very practical and easy to understand. Like, managing our energy, everybody should be managing their energy, because when you're safe and contained in your own energy, everything starts to become clear. It's a beautiful place to be in. And it's not, you don't need 12-hour rituals, you don't need moon water, you don't need to dance with your wide-brimmed hat on the beach.
What if I like the wide brim hat?
You
Like,
absolutely can
you've
wear the
never once
wide-brimmed.
seen me in a wide brim hat, so don't worry.
I actually have one. I think it's at my parents' house though, but that's from years ago, and I would not be wearing it now just because.
I remember, like, years ago, I went to this conference in LA. It was called the Yellow Conference, and it was, like, it was big, and I couldn't see because we were probably closer towards the back because every girl had on a wide brim hat. Like, they were popping. It's kinda
Yeah,
like the early 2000s when you would, like, layer all the shirts and wear the bauble necklaces and the big belts, you know?
yeah, it's a
They were a
thing.
thing. They
And
were a thing.
you know what? I have a friend who wears one, she looks great in it. It's not for me.
She still wears it?
Mhm.
Oh, I bet she rocks it then.
She does, and she's also not the airy-fairy type of person, she's like a badass shaman type of person.
Yeah, that's
Like,
what I'm
she's like
saying,
a
like, I think
warrior.
if you're still wearing them, like, they fit you, like, they're made for you. They weren't just a trend.
No, I feel like it was one of I listen, I'm really happy that spirituality caught on. I'm really happy that people wanted to explore their energy centers and do all the things. I'm just not really happy about how it's gone down and how a lot of it's turned into trendy stuff and how a lot of people are actually getting hurt or messed up doing it. Like, the people out there who teach people how to work with their chakras, that's great. But what people don't understand is we actually have beliefs and things that live in our energy centers. So if you're going to see an energy healer and you're just giving your power away to them and saying, just heal me, but that person maybe doesn't manage their energy properly, they can fucking wake shit up inside of you. They can even imprint their own stuff into your energy if they're not working with energy properly, and this is stuff I experienced as when I was younger. I experienced people imprinting on me. So, it's why I'm really passionate about it, and also, energy is foundational. It is a foundational piece of business. When you manage your energy, you understand how you are designed, who you're here to speak to, and how to speak to them. It's a game changer. Absolute game changer.
I bow down.
I love it.
You nailed that. Okay, you talk about energy as, like, our own energy, everything is energy, which it really is, like,
Mhm.
scientifically even, you know? So it doesn't really matter, like, where you sit in, like, your spiritual beliefs, like, everything is energy, and I
Yeah.
think we all collectively agree on that. But also, you were telling me today, so what is the date today? So today is June 24th, 2025. I know this podcast will come out, like, past that, but you were telling me that today is, like, some sort of magical day, and I don't know what you're talking about, but so, like, can we please just tell the class?
Yeah. So there's a new moon tomorrow. It's a new moon in Cancer, but what's happening is, and I'm just gonna like kind of summarize this. There's a Kazemi happening at the same time.
What?
It's called a Kazemi. So what that means is that the moon is sitting at the heart of the sun, and energy wise, it amplifies the energy. It's like, if you have a race car and it has normal gas, but then you have that nitrous oxide and you press the button and then your car goes "Woo," and it goes really fast.
Yeah, totally. Because I, like, drive rice cures with nitrous oxide all the time.
That's a whole other story that I have, but that's I
But I get it, I get what you're saying. Yeah.
but it's supercharging things. So it's supercharging your clarity. It's like this fog is lifting and you're going to be able to finally see what's ready to go out of your life. And when you're in this energy, and I think the last time this happened, I think it was 20 I wanna say 2013, but it might have been longer that it's been a while. It doesn't happen all the time when these particular planets come together, but it's really cool energy because when you're setting intentions on a new moon, it's about planting the seeds of what you wanna grow. and this energy just amplifies it. So if you're in a season of expansion, this is such a beautiful the astrologers and the people out there, they will literally call today the most magical and luckiest day of the year, whether it is or not. I mean, if we believe it is, it is.
Yeah.
So that's what I say to people. But today is a great day to set intentions.
You know, when I first like came into the online space, you like kind of get bombarded, like it slammed in your face that like your thoughts aren't good enough. You got to write this down 55 times a day for 5 days, like all of this stuff, or you're not making money because you're not in your feminine flow. Like it
Oh God,
is
don't get me started.
really, yeah, it's so bad. So, like, how do you kind of navigate all that? Because really, I can only speak for myself here, but it fucks me up. Like, I thought that, like, if I was having a bad month, it was because I had bad thoughts, you know?
Oh, it fucked me up too. I mean, I just turned 50. So I'm in the phase of my life now where I've had so much life experience that I've gotten a lot of discernment with what I let in and what I don't let in. And in the beginning, like when I first had my awakening, if we want to call it that, I've been this way my whole life, but I think it got shut off for most of my childhood. Yeah, I was letting everything in. I was convinced that I didn't know how to handle money because I had bad thoughts about money. I was convinced that if I got money and then money left, that was my fault. I must have had a bad thought. It doesn't work like that. And this is years of me having these experiences, years of me working with other people, years of me studying this stuff. We don't have one bad thought and then everything goes away. It doesn't work like that. If we are constantly stuck in a state where we're only focused on the bad things, then sure, bad things are going to start to show up because our subconscious mind loves proof and evidence. So it will show you more of what you're focused on. If you're only focused on the bad things, you're going to see the bad things more. That's why I'm always telling people, I'm like, you need to try to focus on the outcomes that you want versus the things that you don't want.
Well, and I think that's just living optimistically too, you know?
Yeah. And it's
That's,
not
yeah.
the
Instead of
whole
like life is happening to me, it's like life is happening for me. And that can be a
yeah.
huge thing.
And who are you being? Who are you choosing to be? When the things happen, are you being reactive or are you being proactive? Are you getting sucked into the loop or are you going, oh, this happened. Okay, now I'm going to move through it. And listen, I'm not saying bypass things. You have to feel the feelings, but don't get stuck in them.
Yeah. Well, and that's a huge part of my whole being sober this last year is like, oh, I have to feel these feelings now
Hmm.
instead of bypass them or beat myself up about them. It's like sometimes you're just meant to have big emotions.
Yeah. And listen, we have thousands of trapped emotions in us. We all do. We don't need to clear them all out. There are some that can cause issues because they can affect our beliefs. And so when I'm working with people that deal with trapped emotional energy, those are the ones we're looking at. But I just feel like the pendulum swings one way or the other way. And so you get all these people who are like, you have to be high vibe all the time. So I was trying to live my life constantly in that high vibration.
Yeah. I remember I made a list, light a candle,
Cool.
put on music, go for a walk, dance.
Yeah. And it's also funny because I practice and teach and work with feminine and masculine energy in a much different way than most people. Like, we're not in the energy, it's part of us, it's part of our system. So, years ago, when somebody told me, it was a coach actually, they were like, you're too in your masculine. You need to be more in your feminine. So, you need to like stand up and dance during the day. I was just like, you can fuck off,
What kind of dance? I just want to know what kind of dance.
right? Probably the kind that I would put a flowy dress on and move and sway and whatever.
Like
But
touch yourself awkwardly.
yeah, but my energy is not designed that way. I actually love being able to work with both of my energies because that's what we're supposed to be able to do. Me, the human with the higher consciousness, gets to decide which energy is leading the way and which one is supporting. So when somebody says, you're too in your feminine or you're too in your masculine, that's a big problem for me because that means the person, the human with the higher consciousness, has just let their energy run willy nilly.
Yeah.
And that's not how it should be.
No, it's not. Okay, another thing that I think would help people too is when you're looking at all the stuff that you're getting bombarded with online that's like, this is the way to live your life, especially with these money people, is I've realized if they're only talking about energetics and they're not actually telling
God.
you like what to do, like how to save for taxes, what your client acquisition cost is, like how much it costs you a month to have a client, where you should be like divvying up your money, like possible investments, things like that. Like they're full of shit.
Yeah, if that's the type of runaway. Because I've also gotten tied into those people in the beginning because I was just like, "Oh, I'm just gonna tap into the higher consciousness and bring the money down." No, it's listen, it's yes, money is energy. It is.
Mhm.
Everything is. But also there are basic and simple principles. Like where's the money being flowed through? Where's the money going? People who come into me, like when I work with people specifically on money mindset stuff, most of them don't even know where the money's coming and going from. They don't even look at their bank account. They don't have a relationship with the money. You have to have a relationship with your money. And it's the same with marketing. If somebody's like, and this is why I used to hate talking about human design parts because people would say, well, I'm a projector, so I just have to wait until like I'm invited into something. And
Okay.
it's like, but that's not reality. As a projector, yes, you are designed for the invitation, but you also have to apply basic marketing principles. There has to be sales and marketing and delivery. Those are the three basic marketing principles. And it's interesting because all of the business coaches I've worked with don't talk about that stuff. Don't you
That's
find that a little strange?
yeah, that's what I'm saying is, just to kind of roll it back here is you can have like all these big overarching like energetics, all these things, but you have to be able to like tangibly do something with that as well.
Yeah. Now, what I will say, based on my experiences, energy is still the foundation of this stuff, but you have to, just like what you're saying, have the tangible aspects. Because if you don't have the beliefs in place to support what you want to build or do, it's going to be very hard to do it because your subconscious is always going to try to keep you safe. And it'll manifest in your life as it'll seem like self sabotage, but I don't, self sabotage doesn't really exist
No.
if you ask me.
Oh, really? What's your thought on that?
It's just our subconscious mind trying to protect us. So when I notice myself doing something that would seem like self-sabotage, I stop and I go, "Okay, what is my mind trying to protect me from here?" Because it is trying to protect us. Our subconscious mind is the most beautiful partner in growth that we could ever ask for, but nobody's ever taught us how to speak to it properly. We've demonized it. We've been like, "Oh, it's self-sabotage. Oh, it's got all these limiting beliefs." No, just learn how to talk to it better. You'll have better answers.
Whatever, like, what's kind of your opinion on like numbing out? Like, where does that fit in everything?
Like
And we do it,
dissociation kinda numbing out?
yeah, or like you'll scroll social media forever, you'll use substances, you'll like those kinds of things. Maybe you'll eat a whole pizza. Like, everyone has their vices.
Yeah, and that's a deeper level of I still wouldn't call that self-sabotage. I would call that you have something you need to deal with, and you're probably not ready to deal with it. So our subconscious is really cool. It'll suppress things until you're ready to deal with them. And when you're ready to deal with them, it'll bring them to the surface. So when we're numbing out or dissociated or scrolling, that's a good indication that on a subconscious level, we're not ready to deal with it quite yet. Something else has to come into our awareness or something else has to be revealed so that we can step into that. Like when you think about your sober journey, and I kind of know this, but like, what was it that made you go, no, I'm done now?
Well, it was a whole series of things. And it was like finally realizing that like I had the tools and resources to be done.
You just said the magic word. It was finally realizing that I had the tools and resources.
Yeah. But I think I had 'em 10 years ago, you know?
Yeah, but on a subconscious level, 10 years ago, your system wasn't ready to deal with it.
So are you saying that everything happens at the time it's supposed to happen?
Theoretically, yes. Can we force things? Sure. But also, I don't want it to sound like I'm saying, "Oh, just bypass things until you feel ready," because
I know that's what I'm saying is like, when do you catch yourself in like these numb out cycles? I don't want to use it as like an excuse.
no, and you have to it's self-awareness. You have to be in so much pain that you're like, "Okay, I'm done with this now." Like,
Yeah.
you inspired me because of your sober journey, and you know this, but I decided to do a little, like, 30 days of I think I called it 30, 30, 30, which I think today is actually the 30th day if I look. And
It might be
uh,
because I'm on like 45 or 46.
yeah, I think actually, let me look.
Like you might, yeah.
Today is day 30 for me.
Are you going to keep it rolling? Are you going to do another
Yeah, I
30?
am gonna just keep going because I feel really good. But it was about I hadn't been eating enough protein, and that was affecting how I felt. Like, I felt like shit, and I wasn't focused on, like, consistent training. I would go to the gym and be willy-nilly. And so for me, that was the pain point. I was like, "I don't like how I feel. This doesn't feel good." So then I decided to do 30, 30, 30, which was 30 grams of protein at every meal, moving for a minimum of 30 minutes a day for 30 days because my brain likes to chunk things down. I need to have small bite-sized pieces. And anytime I started to go and yes, I do this for a living, but anytime I started to question things or be like, "Ugh, this is so hard," I literally could hear your voice in my head going, "We can do hard things." And I would think about you being sober for 365 days. And I was like, "I cannot eat gluten for 30 days. I will be fine."
So no, you didn't have any gluten for the last 30 days.
Mm-mm.
How do you feel? I didn't realize it had already been 30 days.
Yeah, I'm lying. I think I had gluten, like, twice. I feel really good, but also that's because I've been eating enough protein, and we took steps to help us stay on track by getting, like, pre-made meals delivered
Oh
from
yeah,
the
you're
fridge.
doing the factory meals, huh?
Yeah, oh, they're wonderful. Just
Do
save
you
a
like
lot and they're delicious. But yeah, I feel good, and then I also started boxing again too, so that was exciting for me
I
because
want
I
to see
haven't
a
done
video
that
of
in,
you
like,
boxing. I've been waiting for it. Like boom,
maybe one day.
boom. You could just get your fist going, like a point of view. Get your phone like right here, hold it between your neck.
I did do a reel with me punching, but it was punching with my left hand because I was trying to get this, like, cinematic thing and whatever.
Whatever. We're just not doing that. I feel like if content's too hard, it's like I don't want to do it. And I don't think people should do things that are like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, do things and so that brings us back to the energy aspect, though, because some people are designed to constantly pump out content, and some people are not designed like that.
Well, I've even said to my clients, especially lately, and they're like, "Oh my god, this is so refreshing." But I've been like, "Okay, like, are you good at showing up on camera?" And I'm like, "That's not an insult. That's a can you talk? Like, can you just riff for 3 to 4 minutes? Or, is that going to put you into a coma? Or you're not going to send me any videos?" You know what I
Mhm.
mean?
Yeah, and I think with a lot of people that I work with, once they start to understand the frequency of the people who naturally resonate with them, it becomes easier to show up because they know what those people need to hear from them, and they know who those people are, and it's like, "Oh, well, I can show up like that." I know that when I started doing this for myself in my business, it blew my mind. I was like, "Oh, okay, I understand now who I'm supposed to show up for and how I show up." Doesn't mean we don't help multiple people. It means there's a main frequency of people who resonate with us naturally. People tell me, they're like, they either like, you love me or you don't wanna be near me because 'cause you're just like, ugh. Because my energy can be a lot. I'm not gonna blow smoke up your bum, and I'm not gonna be a cheerleader, but I am very loving and compassionate in my own
Yeah,
way.
I know. Sometimes I'll get that from people where they're like, "You're just really hard." And I'm like, "Well, have you tried?" You know?
Yeah. It's like, really?"
Yeah. I don't know. Getting better at this, I get my feelings hurt a lot. And
But I also feel like once you get to a certain age, you're in a certain life cycle right now, I'm in a certain life cycle right now, where we don't care about the stupid stuff as much anymore. And we've had conversations. I'm like, I don't want to show up on social media. And you're like, well, then don't. I'm like, okay. And then I show up because now you've just given me permission not to show up. So I feel better. And then I actually show up. Like it's a weird cycle.
I know. I even told you, I was like, if it's easier for you, just like record with your back camera walking, and just record what you're looking at. Like, I don't, I can show you 10,000 different ways that people have been successful online.
Yeah. And the TikTok thing where you're like, just do B-roll and put like copy on top of it. I was like, I'm allowed to do that. Like,
Yeah.
I'm allowed.
Yeah.
Like, that I'm good at that stuff. I have so many things I can do that way.
Yeah. I can show you videos like that that have like 12 million views. People just don't
Yeah,
realize, you know?
it's crazy, but also I recognize what feels good to me and what drains me.
Mhm.
Just like when you and I met for your session, we talk about and I'm looking at your sheet right now, but it's like
Oh,
things
yeah. I haven't forgotten. We're going to
yeah,
go through this.
things that drain you is that constant pressure to create just to be visible. So you get really excited about something, and then once you sit with it, you might go, "I don't actually wanna do that."
Yes. Actually, I'm notorious for doing that.
Mhm.
So let's talk about this though, our energy profile. So I've worked with Brenda. I have lots of clients that have worked with Brenda. Brenda has like a very well known like reputation for doing really great things with amazing people. So Brenda's a baller. She's like Sam approved.
I
Stamped it
appreciate
on you.
that
You see it?
feedback.
That looks like I'm punching you in the face, but I really, really love this. So for me, you did like a whole energy profile on business and leadership. And I'm
Mhm,
just gonna, like, just so people can understand it. Cause again, I'm one of those people that I'm like, can you just like do something, like give me some action, like stop talking, you know?
mhm.
But I love like how you work best. And then you've got like what drains you and who you're meant to lead. And it was really kind of cool. So do you want to let's go through a little bit of this. Do you mind?
No, I don't mind at all.
Okay. I liked this, like what works for me, clear timelines and expectations, collaborative planning with room to think and refine. And it's that right there, room to think and refine. Because I keep telling people, I'm like, they'll come at me and they'll dump a lot of information on me, like about their businesses. And well, even like if my team's on the call or whatever, and they'll just give me so much, so much, so much. And then they're like, what do you think we should do? And I'm like, oh, well, we've got to like pull back and we've got to like look at everything that's going on. And you have to give, like, there has to be space for creatives, you know?
Mhm. Yeah.
It's like you show up at the car dealership and you're like, "Blah, blah, 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 blah. What's wrong with my car?" And they're like, "Well, I haven't even turned it on." You know what I mean? They're like, "You're gonna
Yeah.
have to come back tomorrow."
Or you go to a restaurant and you just sit there and you go, "I want food," but you don't tell them what you actually want. "Give me food."
Well, and for my job too, it's my job is to figure out, like, what they actually do wanna eat, you know? So it's like, I gotta definitely take some space.
Mhm.
So
I
I love
also
that.
yeah, that's one of my favorite parts of this report is helping to show people, like, this is how you're designed. And it's almost like just how you gave me permission to just show up on TikTok with the B-roll thing. It's like I'm giving people permission to understand, "Oh, I it's okay for me to take space. It's okay for me to be in the creative thing." Like, the other thing I would say about all of this is not meant to be it's not meant to put you in a box, and it's also not meant to be used as, like, an excuse to why you're not showing up. It's why I create these the way I create them instead of going, "Here's your human design profile."
Well, honestly, it's just what you're saying. It's giving me permission. And then also, I'm able to communicate that a little bit. Like, okay, we need a little bit of space and time to do our creative thing. And people are like, okay, great. But, before I wasn't quite sure what was going on. It just felt overwhelming. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally, and knowing that, like, your people need to hear from you, like, your people that resonate with you, they don't need the superficial hype. They want grounded guidance. They want somebody like you who's saying, "Listen, you're not doing it wrong. This is part of the process. This is what goes on, and here's what might actually work if you try this."
Okay. And this is actually in my business and leadership energy profile that Brenda did. And you do this for your clients, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. I actually
So,
have like, it's interesting because I have a new thing now where you can come and just do this with me, and we're not doing any of the transformational stuff, but it's like a good entry point for people if they're just curious about this type of work. But this is my favorite stuff because when you understand yourself, I feel like it makes it easier to show up more authentically and not be afraid to show up because you have clarity.
Well, yeah, it's like, this is who I am instead of me showing up. It doesn't feel good. Someone might get mad. And then what I would do is I'd go home and I'd internalize that, you know?
Oh, 100%. And the people who naturally resonate to you as this like mentor, as the role model, and I know because I'm one of those people, we need trial and error to be normalized. We need to know that it's okay to try something. And if it doesn't work, try something else. We need clear and actionable advice that's not going to overwhelm us.
Yeah.
Also, this is in her profile. But for me, the whole idea of having to show up like 7 days a week, I was like, oh, no, that's a lot. And then if I didn't do it, I would shame myself. But then when you were like, well, what if we did this and you do 3 of these a week and you do this amount of story? And I kind of looked at you and I was like, oh, yeah, I can do that. That
Yeah.
feels good to me.
Well, that's what I was trying to explain because I've helped Brenda with her content as well, where I was like, well, like, what is manageable for you? But also, like, let's push you just a little bit, you know?
Yes, because you have to be able to push people outside of their comfort zone. And that's part of, I joke, but it is part of my life purpose is to create tension in people's lives, but the best possible tension that's going to help them expand into bigger and better things. I'm
Yeah.
not here to sugarcoat things. I'm here to help people expand.
I love how matter of fact you are. And the look on your face, you're like, duh.
Like, I'm not Willy Wonka, as I used to say.
Come on. The other thing I loved about this too is this is your season. And then you had listed some things is to build trust in your voice again. And I feel like just building trust in myself was like the whole underlying theme of last year. I just didn't know it. You know what I mean? Or I would say the
Mhm.
last 365 days, not just like a fiscal year. And create structure that frees you, not boxed in. Work with clients who energize you. Say less with more impact and own your authority. I loved it. Like I
Yeah,
loved about this.
and I love doing these because, yes, I'm looking at aspects of your human design, but I'm also that's like your fingerprint. So it enables me to also sit and look at your energy and go, "Okay, this is what's going on. This is where she might have some shadows. This is where she might need to work through some stuff." And then because we were doing the 90-minute session, then we did work through some stuff and we cleared some beliefs and then we created some new beliefs. Like, it gets to be that easy.
Yeah, it was really cool, and what I love too is I told you this is, like, just how calm I felt, and
Mhm.
so, you know, this isn't just, like, a huge plug for Brenda, but it is because you're amazing, but, like, I feel like people deserve to feel, like, that calm and peaceful, so wherever you guys need to get it in your life, like, get it, you know?
Yeah, and I think it's weird too because most of us have so many survival patterns running, and so when we start to transform things, it can almost be uncomfortable because we don't know what to do with the calm
Okay, I
because
talked
we've
about
never
this
had
on
it.
yes, I talked about that on TikTok, especially because my TikTok is primarily focused on sobriety, and I was talking about that, about how it feels, like, destructive to be calm, you know? Like, I feel anxious, I feel, like, all these different things, and so many people chimed in, and they're like, "Everything you just described is what I'm feeling," and they're like, "When you step back, it's because you're experiencing peace, but you
Yep.
have not lived your life like that."
And that's another piece of when you're managing your energy and you're safe and contained in your own energetic field, it becomes easier to be in that peace because you're not pulling in everybody else's energy. You're not feeling everybody else's. The number of times I hear people go, I'm an empath. It's so hard. Listen, we're all empaths. This is why you need to learn to manage your energy because you're not meant to be pulling everybody else's shit into you.
Okay, I heard the best description on app, and it resonated. I'm like, I feel like you're the expert of this stuff, though. So tell feel like this is true. Okay, so it was saying that an empath is just someone who had like a traumatic childhood, and they had to learn to read people to see what the reaction would be to stay safe. And when I listened to that, I was like, yes, I was constantly reading people and their moods to decide. I remember being like, is it safe to ask if I could go play or not? And I'd be like, nope, I will just play alone in my room. You know what I mean?
It
And so
100%.
And
because
we know someone in common who's always saying they're an empath, and I'm like, I'm just not I think it's just like you learned as a child to read people's emotions, and it's just a protective measure, and, like, you can put it down. I don't think it's, like, who you are.
no, and it's another one of those labels. It's like saying I had a client who had a therapist who kept labeling her as things, and so then that became her identity, and I was like, "But why does that need to be your identity?" But it's like what you're saying, and empaths are actually we're highly manipulative because from an energetic point of view, we want to control situations so that we don't feel yucky. So as a kid who's very sensitive to things, whether it's a big T trauma, little T trauma, whatever, we're all sensitive to energy. We can all feel it. It's like, okay, well, is it safe to me to ask to go out to play? Oh, I can feel that in my body that it doesn't feel safe. So, no, I'm not going to do that. And then as we get older, we get into the people pleasing because we want to make sure that the water stays calm. We don't want people to not like us. And so we start manipulating situations to make sure that we are feeling safe and good. But that's not the answer. The answer is manage your energy so you're not pulling in other people's stuff. And so you can sit there and go, is this mine or is this somebody else's? And do I need to clear something off of me? And listen, you everybody listening to this, I'm sure at one point has walked into a room and been like, "Nope," and left because they didn't like the way it felt. You and I have met people where we had many instances of not liking how it felt, and then we gaslit ourselves
Mhm.
into staying in those situations.
Oh my gosh. Do you remember when I told you last year, I was like, I just wanted to pack our bags, and I was gonna do it all. I was gonna pack everyone's bags who was at this event we were at, because it was, like, so hot. Like, I was like, "What is happening?" And I was packing Brenda's bag, and I was packing someone else's. I'm not gonna name them because 'cause they're not here. And I was like, we were leaving. And I was, like, getting us an Uber, and then I was like, "Okay, you're just being dramatic because it's, like, hard work right now."
Yeah, but then at the same time, I was sitting there going, "I need to tell these women that we need to get the fuck out of here." And then I didn't
I
wanna
almost
say
spit out my drink.
but that's what was going on. You and I were having the same thing happening.
Do you remember me looking at you and I was like,
Yeah, there
like, this
there
is
was
like little
multiple
head nod.
times.
Mhm.
There was
I'm like,
multiple times.
this is crazy, right? Like,
Yeah, nothing about that was a good I mean, looking back, it was good because I can say, "Wow, look how self-aware we were,"
mhm.
but then also, "Wow, we didn't trust that
I know
given."
I've told you multiple times it was my biggest regret was that I just sat there and, like, listened to it happen, instead of said something. I told you, like, how it, like, haunts me.
But you know what? That's part of the growth and part of recognizing, like, just how powerful you really are, right? Because you can see that now and go, "Okay,
Yeah.
this went down. Cool, that was the past. Moving forward, you would handle things differently. So would I."
Yeah, and you know what's super interesting is I think if I had been in my drinking space, I would have 100% not even been, like, in that self-awareness, because I would have been, like, numbing that down, right? Because there was, like, drinks flowing everywhere, and if I had still been in that drinking space, I know that I wouldn't have been able to be, like, recognize, like, how toxic that was.
Yeah, and I look at that and think back and I'm like, "Man, if I didn't manage my energy the way that I do, that situation would have just messed me right up."
Yeah.
It was so toxic. Like, it was so toxic, you could actually feel it in the air is what I would say.
I'm, like, swimming through it,
Yeah, we were
swimming.
swimming through the toxicity. But
Okay, this is
also, I mean, that whole situation is essentially what brought you and I so close together, so
yeah.
I'm grateful for that part of it.
Okay, I have to ask you some of these questions that were on my list, okay? Because
Yeah.
I haven't asked one, but I knew I wasn't gonna even need questions. Sometimes I do a lot of prep for interviews because 'cause I've never met the person, and a lot of times these are, like, really badass people, and you're a total badass, but, like, I know a lot about you. So, okay, how do you personally regulate your energy day to day, especially as, like, a coach and entrepreneur? Like, what are your non-negotiables?
Non-negotiable in the morning, I'm sitting for 5 minutes and I do what is called my daily energy management practice. where I sit, I clear my energy, I ground into the earth energy and source, and then I'm protected in my bubble. And if people have never experienced something like this, I'll give you the link. They can go grab my it's an audio, it's guided, it's 4.5 minutes, and you can start doing it. And you do it daily. When you are safe and contained in your own energy, everything shifts. That is my non-negotiable. Like if I do not do that before I get out into the world, yuck. And then in between clients, I'm clearing the energy of the client. I'm disconnecting from the client. And when I say I'm disconnecting, I'm never in your energy. Nobody should ever be in your energy. I'm looking at your energy. I'm communicating with it like you and I are communicating. I'm not in it.
Yeah.
So, but I still say I disconnect from you. Thank you for allowing me to connect. And then I clear myself. And then at the end of the day, like way end of the day, as I go to bed, I'm having a shower and I just clear myself off again and I reground myself for bedtime. And
Night shower.
oh, I love my nighttime showers. I'm like,
Okay, I don't this is totally off subject. I'm like, I don't know if I can talk to you anymore. I don't understand people who shower at night, and everyone in my house showers at night.
I never used to. I think it was my boyfriend who got me started doing that years ago because he did that because of the way he worked. Like,
Yeah, that's what Jake showers at night after work.
yeah, and then I just started doing it because I also realized it was a really quick and easy way for me to clear my energy off because the water helps with that.
Yeah.
And for me, because I'm also very connected to water, being in the water, I'm able to just kinda connect into my energy on an even stronger way. Even if I'm outside walking in the rain, I can connect into nature and stuff way easier when it's raining.
I was
But,
like,
like
"Wait, did you say you shower at night?"
yeah.
It's fine, I'll forgive you.
No, but it's a really good way to clear it, and all of like, none of this stuff takes me longer than 5 minutes.
I think if you're having, like sometimes at night, like, I will spiral because 'cause I'm still working on a lot of things, it would probably help just to, like, jump in the shower.
Well, it actually can, like, calm you down and get you ready for sleepy time.
Yeah.
Plus, I just feel like we're having a heat wave right now, so, like, I'm sticky and gross. I just wanna be, like, not sticky and gross when I go to bed.
You know what's so funny is when you're like, "I'm melting," I'm trying to be really compassionate and not respond with, "That's nice, that's, like, actually kind of cold." Because, you climatize, though, to where you're at, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
it's true. Listen, if this was dry heat, though, I'd be fine with it. It's like, moist. I hate that word, by the way, moist. It's muggy.
It is hard when it's humid. Should we use the word humid? It is.
Humid. Humid is a great
Yeah,
word.
yeah,
You're
like,
lucky that I brushed my hair today.
your hair looks great. You said you were gonna wash
You
it. Did you wash it?
Yeah, I did this morning.
I did not wash my hair, but you can't tell.
Oh, you totally can't.
No, let's see. If I look at my forecast, everything has 100 in front of it. So 100, 101, 103, 102.
Oh my
So I
god.
was like, "That's nice."
I'll stop complaining then, because I think in Fahrenheit, we'd be around 89, 90 right now. I mean,
Yeah.
that's warm.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's all, like, climatized. It's all based on your energy, right? So if your energy I could tie this in anything.
We'll go with that.
No, but you do climatize because I
No,
used to
you
live
do.
like yeah, and then we moved down here, and my aunt was like, "Just give it a few weeks, and it's not gonna feel that hot to you." And I was like, "Oh." And my sister, she moved here when she was pregnant, and she was, like, dying, and then literally, like, it took her, like, a month maybe, and she's like, "Oh my god, now I'm, like, standing in the window getting morning sun," and I'm like, "I know, it's weird."
Yeah, it's a thing. That actually does tie into energy, because that's a great way also that I will kind of come back to myself and clear off my energies. I will literally just go stand on the grass and stare at the sun, not directly into the
I
sun.
was like, "Do you
Let
make
the
direct eye
sun
contact?"
no, I'll let the sunlight come down on me.
Was it in 2020 when everyone was, like, telling everyone to sun gaze?
On the oh, I don't remember. I remember the sun your butthole, people.
I can get behind sunning your butthole.
I love the sun. I'm just like, "Okay." But
Yeah,
yeah, I feel like when it comes to energy, and this ties into your question too, I feel like people make it way more complicated than it needs to be. Like
mhm.
I used to go see energy healers all the time and get them to clear me and do all the things. And that's really just me being lazy and not being accountable for myself. it can be as easy to clear your energy as standing there and setting the intention and going, "I'm setting the intention right now to release anything from me that is not of me."
Yeah.
It's that easy that we don't need all this mystical stuff. I'm not saying sometimes it's not nice to have that stuff, but my whole goal is I want to give people the tools so that they can do this stuff on their I don't ever want anybody being dependent on somebody to help them with their energy.
Yeah.
That's fucked up. And I
Yeah.
did have a past client who had a healer, and I'm using air quotes, who had convinced her that she needed to come multiple times a week to have her energy cleared. And I'm like, that's disgusting. And that's a smarmy grifter who's taking advantage of people and creating codependency.
Oh my gosh, I remember this one time, this was the first, like, encounter I had with a psychic, and it was like a little house that you would drive by and you just do, like,
Yeah.
walk-ins. Like, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And I remember there was, like, 3 of us, like, 3 friends, we went in and she, like, gave weird ass messages, but my one friend, she must have, like, felt it in her. She convinced her to go, like, withdraw, like, a couple $100, and then she would light these candles for her, and we're like, "No, don't do this." My friend's like, it's fine." And she would light these candles for her that would, like, get rid of, like, some sort of bad energy she had.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many grifters out there, not just in the spiritual space, but in the coaching space. And it's hard because if you're in a space of not feeling your best and you meet somebody who says they can help you, you want to believe that everybody has your best interests at heart, but that's it's not always the case. And the thing that drives me bonkers, energy is a very private thing. So I will never just say to you, even if I'm having intuitive insights or one of your dead relatives is coming through, I'm never going to be like, "Oh my God, Sam, so and so came through and I have a message for you." That is disgusting. There always has to be permission. If I'm
Yeah.
talking your energy, even when you work with me, every session, I'm like, "Hey, Sam, do I have permission to be your proxy?" Which means, can I speak to your energy? The things that you see online where they're like, "I'm sending you this energy. I'm sending you this Reiki healing." No, you're not. Fuck off. You're not invited into my energy. That is rude. Nobody should be forcing their energy on you. I was in the spa one day years ago, and this woman was sitting there and she kept staring at me. And I'm getting a pedicure, and I'm like, why is this lady staring at me? And then all of a sudden she goes, "I'm reading everybody in here, but I can't get into your energy."
Oh god.
And I was like, "Excuse me?" She's like, "Yeah, I can't get into your energy for some reason." I'm like, "You can't get into my energy because that's fucking rude and you're not invited into it." The people around me were just like, "Oh my god." But it's the truth. Nobody I was listening to a podcast the other day, which I really like, and the guy said during his spiritual awakening, he had been getting a massage, and the massage therapist all of a sudden pulled back and came back with this voice and was like, "I have a message for you from," and I was just like, "No." But because of the state of being he was in at that time, he admitted it. He's like, "I got addicted to the spiritual guidance of this person who said they had connections that I didn't have."
Oh my god.
Years ago, when I was very, very young, I went to see an Akashic reader, and I remember her all of a sudden, her head flicked back, her eyes rolled back in her head, and
What?
she started talking like this, and I busted out laughing because I was just like even back then, my system knew that was bullshit. I was just like, Okay, thanks."
Okay, hold on though. I like the Akashic readings. Have you or I like the like, what are your take this is a side tangent, but what's, like,
Yeah.
your take on the Akashic records?
Listen, it's our history and our past and all the things. Why do you need to keep going backwards?
Oh,
Why don't we focus on building new ones and go forwards?
I would
I
say
think a lot of people get hooked on that
yeah, I would say in
transcendence.
2020, I was definitely, like, past lives. I did all these past life regressions, and I was, like, super fascinated with it. And then it's just
Yeah,
like, I don't really care.
and it is fascinating. The challenge is, why do we wanna keep going backwards? When you understand your design, your unique blueprint, you don't need to go backwards because you understand what's going on in this lifetime.
Yeah.
And so it's like, and I get it because I called her my spiritual guidance person. I would see her like twice a month for like 2 years when I was getting divorced. And you do become dependent on that. And what I'm trying to do is help people understand all the answers they need, they can get them. But I want to teach people how to do it properly. I don't want people just channeling random shit. So when I have clients come in and they're like, I channeled spirit. I'm like, cool. What spirit were you talking to? And they're like, I don't spirit. I'm like, but you couldn't validate who it was, where it was coming from. Was it a lower level entity? Was it of the highest light? Like the reality is lower level entities like to trick people. Or they're like, I don't know, maybe it was an alien. Okay, can you validate it? Like learn to understand who you're letting into your space. Do you let random strangers come in to root through your underwear drawer? I hope not.
I mean, it depends on, like,
It
what they're
depends
offering
on the
me.
day.
Depends what they're offering me.
But it's like we have to understand ourselves and who we are connecting into. I have spirit guides that I talk about on my podcast and on other things. I know exactly who they are. I would never come into a conversation and be like, Sam, you've got some beings of light standing around you. I would never, first of all, I would never just say that because it's rude. Second of all, I would never just say that until I validated who they actually were.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of, like, giving our sovereignty away or whatever the word is that I'm looking for, and it can be dangerous.
Ooh, okay. I like where this is going.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Anything that you want to, like, tell any, like, people are always like, "What is one message that if you could tell anyone anything?" But I kinda wanna hear it from you.
I think you already know what that's gonna be.
What is
It's
it?
gonna
What
be
is it?
manage your damn energy. Stop giving your Listen, if we all were safe and contained in our own energy, it would almost be like we were all little healing bubbles walking around. We wouldn't have a lot of the issues we have if you just managed your own energy.
And
That's the one
I
thing I
think a lot of that is just us being responsible for ourselves, right? Like, it's not okay to go out and project into the world, and it's gonna happen from time to time. It would be
100%.
a bad day, and I might just, like, flip out at a McDonald's cashier, you know?
Yeah,
But, like, that's
and
not
also
okay. You know what I'm saying? It's not
yeah,
okay. Like, we need to manage that.
also things happen, like, I had some hormone issues going on where my progesterone was really low, and I had the homicidal rage, and I threw a remote control against the wall, and I couldn't control it. I manage my energy still, but there's other things that can be going on, and the energy is just like a layer of that. But when we take responsibility, it was funny because I had a conversation with a client the other day, and she's going through this like horrible situation, this horrible divorce. She's got kids, and she said, "I haven't been managing my energy." Oh well, I managed it one day, and I felt so good that day. And I looked at her, I'm like, "So what does that tell you?" She's like, "That if I take 5 minutes to manage my energy, I'll feel better." I was like, "Mm-hmm."
Yeah.
And I understand because energy is invisible. It's not we're not getting some sort of instant gratification, although I feel like you do. But so it's hard for people to kind of quantify, like, okay, I'm sitting here and I'm visualizing that I'm in a bubble and then I'm connected to the earth. But like that's how energy works. We visualize. And once you do it consistently, when you stop doing it, you'll notice.
I like that. I mean, just notice what you notice too, you know?
Yeah, self awareness. It's such a beautiful gift. Just being like, oh, this is how I'm feeling. Cool. Now I'm going to move through that. I'm going to make a different choice.
Yeah.
Anytime we recognize something, us, the human with the higher consciousness, gets to make a different choice. We can make a different choice multiple times in the day. If I do something I don't like, I can make a different choice. Like, how cool is that? We get to make choices, and that's
Oh,
what moves us forward.
yeah, and that's super powerful. Okay, guys, I want to just say thank you so much to Brenda, and it's Johnston with a T. If you guys want to stalk her, we will have her linked up in our show notes. What is your Instagram? Is it underscore Brenda Johnston?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. I was like, it's got an underscore in there somewhere, but look, it's right here in your little Zoom handle at underscore
Because
Johnston.
somebody took my name. She's a real estate person years ago. I went to just get Brenda Johnson. She had it. And then
Yeah,
somebody had
someone's
Brenda Dot, and I was like, "Come on."
yeah, someone's had like there's Sam Parker, Samantha Parker, so I just snagged the Samantha Parker.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it is in my Zoom thing. I forgot I did that.
Yeah, I was like staring at it actually when I said it. And I was like, how did I know that? And I'm like, it's right there in front of my face.
And I'll give you the link to the daily energy management so people can grab that too, because it's honestly a game changer.
And we will link that up as well. And girl, like, thank you so much. Like, double high five.
High five, high five, high five. Thank you so much for having me. I always love having conversations with you. So thank you.